You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, as you can see by my nice bright shirt, it's time for Next Step Walk for Life. And this is like the third or fourth shirt I have. I work in the yard in them. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't wear them to church or something. Maybe I should. I don't know.
Well, maybe for the next, one of the next couple of weeks to promote it for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shine for Life.
For life.
I
Yep.
know there's a couple of ladies in my Sunday school class that kind of ramrod this for y'all. They kind of organize some of this. So I'm sure that'll be taken care of. But we got the Betty and Veronica of the nonprofit world here. Summer and Megan with Next Step here. We're going to talk about their Walk for Life. We're going to talk about what they've been doing, and just I have the annual report here, and boy, y'all been busy, haven't you?
Definitely.
And also we're going to talk about what y'all need, because you have also you put your kind of talking points here about what you need and what you want and all this other stuff. But look at all these numbers y'all did. 178,700 diapers distributed. That's a bunch.
That is a bunch.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about all of that after I run through the sponsors right quick. And we'll do the nonprofit stuff. We have about 2 or 3 other nonprofit ads coming, by the way. We'll do those towards the end of the show. I mean, it's a busy time for all of us.
It is. It is a busy time.
Well, I know, but you can't do it when it's 110 degrees.
No, you can't. And we have your whole weekends planned for you, the nonprofit team. We just really take care of you.
Well, you can't have you want Walk for Life, not Sweat for Life.
That's true.
Melt for Life. Our place, as always, a great place. Everybody that sat in these chairs has been to our place. It's amazing. Even people that don't even live in Burleson have been in our place. And of course, now they got that one in Cleveland. And as you all saw, as you drove here, he's going to be opening up another one pretty soon. Our Place 2, which is kind of like a miniature version of it. Rich Hooper. Yes. Looking good, Brad. Great work being done at Next Step. Y'all know Rich very well.
We know Rich very well.
We're praying for Rich. He's going to be needing surgery soon. It's not life-threatening, but he needs to have it taken care of. And I have permission to tell people that. So y'all, remember Rich. I don't know when it's going to be scheduled, but soon. We have the deal with the 88.3. He'll promote your show or your appearance here on this show on his, and that's a very handy thing. Yeah. So there you go. All right, back to our place. Back to the people who make this possible. Also, Genius Pizza, which is one of my favorite places to go to do business, so to speak. You go there and, conduct some maybe potential sponsor or whatever, or potential guests, and you can go there, eat a pizza, hear the great music. It's a wonderful place. Yeah. So, and when I do my BNI presentation, we have to bring a door prize, and I bring a gift card, and that's very highly sought after, is the Gina's gift card. So there you go. Okay. Also, our friend John over at Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. We had that hailstorm about 12 years ago or whatever else it was. And then and I didn't get hit. Did y'all get hit pretty hard with the hail?
No.
Not, but a lot of people west of us did. And so he was been really busy. And so you need somebody that's honest and trustworthy to check your roof out. And also somebody that can help you with the insurance, which is always a deal. 817-734-2756 will get you John out there to check your roof. And he'll tell you need a new roof, you need repairs, you need nothing. He'll tell you what the truth is. All right. Also, Jeff at Jeff Kelly. Realty.com is his email. Yeah, say it right. I was getting a little choked up there talking about Jeff. I'm so excited. No, all right. Say it again. Jeff at JeffKellyRealty.com. No, you ever do that? You get some caught in your throat. I do that particularly this time of year. Anyway, 817-781-0546. Jeff will hook you up if you're looking to move in and around this area. He's over at the Weathington Agency here in town, so you're not dealing with somebody out of town. You're not dealing with some massive group that you're just another buyer to them. You're going to get the personal care that you need with Jeff Kelly. So 817-781-0546. Also, after buying and selling houses all day, you probably wouldn't need a workout over at Heartworks. You like that segue? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anyway, the thing about it is what I like about Michelle is, first of all, she knows what she's talking about. She's an expert in this field. It isn't like you go to some gyms, I guess, and you're dealing with people that may or may not know what they're talking about. But her whole staff is trained for this type of activity. So if you go there and say, I really don't know what I want or what I want to do, they'll help you with that. Or if they say, this is the type of result I want, they know what to put you in. And have 11 different choices there. So it's a good place to go. It's over on John Jones, over by Kroger and the movie theater. I think it's called Burleson Commons or something like that, isn't it?
Yes.
You see all the building that's going on over there?
I know, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of health-related businesses over there. And I believe there's going to be a not a retirement home. When I say retirement home, people get this idea that they're like old folks home. No, they're this senior living facility, and that kind of thing, which Robin and I may be checking into, not personally, but we both have parents or getting close to that. So I don't know how I got off on that. Michelle's paying for this. So go to HotWorks, dadgummit. Anyway, Tiffany over at Local Life just finished her pub crawl, and by all reports, it was really, really well done and great as always. You're going to share this here. Come on. There it is. And anyway, the point I'm making is that Tiffany really does a good job. And you get 30,000 eyeballs on it just for the mail. And then you go to a lot of these other businesses and they have multiple copies like it. Our Place or Gina's or at the Auto Mechanics or at some retail outlets. And, they have extra copies. And while you're waiting or you're perusing, you can also look at all those ads and such. And so it's a really, really good deal. Also, my friend Cody O'Brien of Burleson Buzz, this is where I get the news for the radio station. I borrow liberally from him with his permission in return to be able to talk about his blog. It's about $50 a year, so it's really cheap. So it's not nothing that you can't afford, and it keeps you up to date on what's going on with the school system or what's going on with city council or the police station, whatever else. So there you go. And lastly, this is my newest sponsor, Medicare Counseling and Therapy with Jerry Kavanaugh at 817-992-8034. To be clear what this is, I had a couple of people ask me, does he help you get on Medicare? And the answer is no. I mean, he can give you advice, but you don't go there to get put on Medicare. But it could help you, navigate a little bit. But what he's really there for is the therapy and counseling that Medicare now covers. And a lot of people that don't get, let me try that again. A lot of people who get Medicare previously, they'd have to go out of pocket for any kind of counseling services. And, you think these older folks, they need counseling because a lot of grief counseling he does. Mm-hmm. A lot of widows and widowers use it. And also, people my age, I'm not on Medicare quite yet. I'll get there. I got 2.5 more years. But, my generation is reluctant often to get involved in counseling. And so this is a good opportunity for y'all that you could, venture out there, get counseling, and not feel like you're putting not yourself at risk, but your finances at risk or whatever else. And so give them a holler at 817-992-8034. He's over by Rio Mambo. He's on the 3rd floor of that building. So, this is a local guy. You could do telehealth. I mean, so if you lived elsewhere or you want to stay at your house, or if you're maybe inbound, like so many people are on Medicare, you could do this on telehealth through the Zoom process. But they have a location. It's on the 3rd floor of that Rio Mambo building, whatever that's called. I don't even know what it's called, but we all know what I'm talking about here. And one more posting. I'm looking for another group here. Make sure everybody gets the word out. So while I'm looking for this, how's it going over at Next Step?
It's going really good. It's spring break this week, so it's been a little busy because people are off this week, and so it's been a little busy this week.
Why would that be? Because of spring break?
People are home from college and out of school, and then it's just a week where people are off.
Yeah,
this
so
week.
If you weren't off, you probably took off to be home with your kids or something like that, and so people are just around a little bit more.
Historically, spring break has always been just a busy week for us.
Well, that's interesting because I would figure they'd all be on vacations or something like that, but whatever. But, as far as y'all, every time I talk to y'all a little bit more busy than you were the time before.
It feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
we had a little bit of a slump end of January and into February. It was a little slow, which was nice to kind of catch our breath.
Well, you need
do some training and
slow down a little.
Yeah, a little slow down. And then so it just kind of ebb and flows. We just are crazy busy, and then we'll have a little lull, and then right back up again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if there's anything seasonal about it. There's always, it seems like you get a lot of births in May and June and July, right?
Did you know that September is the biggest month for birthdays? And when you think about September is month 9, so
right, it's when it's getting cold. I got you.
Yeah.
But Robin's birthday's in September.
Yeah.
And she's eternally young, so I can't tell you how many birthdays she's had. But but still, I know several people with September birthdays. But that was the old joke: is when the weather cools off, 9 months later, you noticed it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But anyway, they.
I think there are definitely. We're seeing them 6 weeks out of whatever their moment was. And so there's a definite rhythm, like early January. So that's like holidays generally. And then June, we kind of have a little, and then in spring, like there are some like rhythms that you're like, what happened?
Valentine's Day was a little over a month ago. So.
Yeah.
That's not to get too personal with their stories, but do your clients tell you the event itself when they got pregnant, or is it just they just come in and you don't really get into the house and the wives?
Generally, we don't get into it. There are a few. I can think of just maybe less than on one hand people who it was like maybe they didn't know who Dad was, and they were like, "This is all the stuff that happened during that time." Like that's the only. It's very rare. We don't. We're not asked. It's not on our list of questions to ask.
Well, that's what. I think people should know is that it's not nearly as invasive or intrusive as some people might think. That a young lady comes in, the last thing you're going to do is trying to make them relive this moment. The last thing you're going to do is try to make them feel bad about whatever moment we're talking about. You're not there to judge, and I think sometimes because y'all are faith based, I think that that's going to be the driving thing. Is like, well, we're going to make sure you understand that you did wrong or something like that. I've never seen y'all do that.
No.
That y'all are like, you just take it as it is.
Right. And we allow them to talk as little or as much as they want. And there are, some women that come in that, I mean, they just need proof of pregnancy for their doctor, for their insurance or, their work or whatever. And so they're just, they're just giving us the basic information, and that's fine. And then we have some women that are really, really needing some in-depth talking and, counseling and things like that. So, it just kind of depends on the situation, but we would never force anyone to share anything that they're not comfortable with.
Well, that's really good because, again, I take a bit of umbrage. That's a nice word. When people look at y'all and think that y'all are there for a critical aspect of this. And that's not, in other words, you're there to criticize them for their lack of whatever, lack of morality, lack of whatever.
No,
that's not y'all at all.
No, our questions, our conversations, everything that we have lined up is just based on how can we help you?
Right.
How can we serve you? What resources can we provide you? How can we show up well for you so that you can make the healthiest decision for you and your family, and so that you can have what you need to do the next right thing. Like we're just there to go, okay, where are you now? How can we get you to the next best thing? And so we just want to take care of them. And we do, like I said, there are those who will come in and tell you their whole life story and we're here to listen to those too.
Yeah.
And so we're just really there to love and support the women and the men who come into Next Step.
Yeah, I was looking at here. You're talking about on your brochure here, 331 men served.
Which is, I'm so proud of that.
Yeah. When you talk about serving men, what exactly are we talking about here?
So if she's in a relationship with the father of the baby, we really encourage her to bring him And I tell the story a lot. When I first started off on staff, I was the receptionist, and I'd see these guys come in with their, their partners, and they're sitting there, and I mean, you could just see it on their face, and it was awkward, and they were like, "Oh, she's judging me," and I did this, and so it really became, we need to bring him into the conversation. And I feel like, and I know that everyone on my staff feels the same way, that men's voices have been taken away from the discussion, from the decision and things like that. And we want to empower him and give his voice back so that he can be the father and the man that he needs to be for his family.
I can't tell you how critical that is, because if a man doesn't feel like that he's part of the scene, he won't be part of the scene much longer.
Correct.
And then also the fact that I'm sure there's some conflict going on in that guy's mind and heart, that,
Right.
here's the situation that, he's now going to be a father.
Definitely.
And it's going to change his plans. And there's a lot of conflict in it. And to have somebody to, like, Josh, right?
Yes.
To I don't know, talk about that, to unload it a little bit. That's a great thing. And it's something I don't think most people realize that y'all provide, because, everybody talks about, of course, the mother of the situation, but they don't often talk about the father.
Yeah.
And the father often is looked at as maybe a perpetrator less than an active parent or whatever else.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad y'all do that. Yeah, Josh has been with y'all about a year now?
It'll be a year in July.
Okay. So and that really has been a major expansion of y'all's services,
It
hasn't
has
it?
been. We have Josh and we have 2 male volunteers who come in to talk to clients. And there have been moments where they've been able to just relate on such an important level about maybe something they're struggling with or how they're feeling. And it's been just really powerful for them to have a man call them up and say, "Man, you're doing good. You showed up today. Way to be a good dad today." And you can do this, and just encourage them in a way that is so much more effective than if one of us sweet ladies did that.
Well, you mentioned this before in other shows that the stereotype, I guess, would be a young teenage girl that's in trouble, so to speak.
Right.
But I'm looking at your whom we served, and it goes to 35 plus, almost exactly the same percentage as those under 19. And so the biggest group here, just eyeballing it, is 20 to 24. And also another, I guess, assumption is this is their first child, but not always, right?
Correct.
Okay, so same thing with the father, though. I would imagine, though, the father this may be his first experience.
Sometimes, or sometimes he has children from another relationship and things like that. But a lot of times it's his first time to be a father, and so he's like, "What do I do?"
Well, I was, 29, I think, when Robin told me she was pregnant, and no, it's 30. But it doesn't matter. But here, I was much more established than a lot of your clients may be, but it's still sobering. I mean, because you just think about all the things that are coming your way, and you could think about it all you want, but when it's actually happened, it's a whole other story. So I really do feel empathy for these young men, because, this may or may not have been an accident, but it's still, it may have been something they wanted. The young couple wanted this, but bam. There it is, right in front of you. It's still very intimidating.
Definitely.
So.
And the things that he has to think about as the man, as the dad, is totally different than what she has to think about it. But they're still equally, oh my gosh, I gotta figure this out and do this. And so.
And the first thing I thought about was the financial.
Financial position. Yeah.
I get now we're going to have to make provisions for this. And not just buying furniture, but for the baby or whatever else, but just the whole range of it, and then I get. You tell me, you have multiple children. Is it the first one the most scary one?
I would say, well, I don't know. I would say my first and fourth were equally scary.
Okay. Well, I know, but I just wondered, like, after
Even
a while,
though we were outnumbered, it was still, it was the season where we were in. We were, our marriage was great, but there were some work things or some whatever that we were still trying to figure out. And number 4 was a surprise for us. And so it wasn't a like, are we going to handle it? It was like,
right.
but there was still a stress. And probably waited my longest to tell people about that pregnancy because I was like, I'm going to have to like wrap my head around 4 kids. It's a lot.
Oh,
and he's a blessing, and they're like the best crew ever. But yeah, I would say finding out about the first and the fourth were both pretty.
I always make this story about when I found out I was going to be a father the second time with Sarah. We had gone to London to visit Robin's older sister and her husband, who were on sabbatical from a missionary trip in Guinea. They were taking a month off in London, and the Baptists have this organization in Europe where they have like a supervisor, if you want to call them that kind of monitors what's going on with the missionaries in the various areas of that part of the world. And when it was time for their sabbatical, this older couple said, "Hey, why don't you just invite your family, use our house, which is right outside of London, and we'll go on vacation, and you can have our house." Oh, okay. So we hurriedly got together, Robin and her younger sister, and we all got the kids over there. At the time, it was just the boys, the 5 boys. Sarah was not around yet. And we spent a week in this house in London with her parents and my 2 in-law sets and 5 young boys, all under the age of 6. And I was pretty well shot to pieces by the time I got back to America, right? And we were in the parking lot of DFW and said, "Robin, I don't even know if I want a second child anymore." And she goes, "Well, you've picked a fine time to tell me because I have some news for you."
Oh my!
Yeah, and so she told me in the parking lot at DFW that, well, bro.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But it was a sweet girl. It's a totally different experience.
Well, she was over last night, and she's very tender-hearted, sweet girl, and all that. But it just is funny. It's like the irony of it. It's like, let's reconsider having a second child. Too late. So.
Well, with us, we had 2. Colton. Oh, by the way, he said to tell you hi.
Hey.
He was 3, and then I had my daughter Gabby, who was 3 months old, and we were poor. I mean, we were poor. And Gabby was 3 months old, and I found out I was pregnant with my third, which is David. And it was like, I was like, Megan, I didn't tell anybody I was pregnant because I felt like an idiot, but he actually came a little early. So they're 10 and a half months apart. So for 6 weeks, David and Gabby are the same age. And, but he is the biggest blessing in our life. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine it. And it was tough. It was tough, but you know what? They don't remember having financial problems at all. They remember the good times that they had.
No, and fortunately, Robin and I didn't go through that, which I'll describe. But I mean, there were times the budget was tight, but that's different.
Yeah.
I didn't really mean to get too personal with y'all stories, but I wanted.
It's all right.
Well, but I figured probably you told that story to many people, who come in and they're all freaking out, and you probably said, "Well, let me tell you, I understand."
I love it when they're like, they've got their surprise number 4 and they're scared. I'm like, let me at them. We'll just chat all about it.
I have a baby under 1.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, I got this.
See, and that's the kind of thing that I like about y'all's services, because it's not like some detached thing that either they all read about. This is life's experiences that you're bringing into this whole enterprise. And I think probably a lot of people come in there and they hear, well, this lady sitting in front of me tells me I'm going to be okay because she lived through it and she's okay. But it's, for me personally, when Sarah's coming around, I was less stressed about it because we'd already gone through it once with Hayden, and about all the whole birth process. And both of my children's births were planned cesareans because of pregnancy complications. But for some reason, I never worried about any of that. I just felt at peace about it, and everything turned out fine. Yeah. And so that's what I tell people. Is my story was in both pregnancies, Robin had to go to bed rest and all this other routine, and have, Hayden they tried to induce, and then I was okay, let's just go get it. After 24 hours. With Sarah, we were in the hospital 11, and she was born at 12:05, that kind of thing, And the next day, Robin's out mowing the yard. No, not really, but still, no, but still, it was, but I didn't really worry about anything happening because boy, medical science has come a long way in that.
It really
Yes.
has.
And so I'm going to look at some of your other stats here. 345 STI tests.
Yeah.
This is something you've done starting about the last year or so.
That started in 2024.
And so you get a lot of people coming in for that.
We do. We've kind of started. We started out where if they came in for their pregnancy test, we would offer it. And but we've had a few people, because now that people know that we do it, have called, said, "Hey, I really need it. I don't need a pregnancy test." And so we will do our best to accommodate that.
Is there a cost involved with this one?
No. And we also provide the treatment. So if it's a positive, and we do only test right now for chlamydia and gonorrhea. I'm hoping in the future we can do full panel, but if it does come back positive, they can come in, and we're also going to treat our partner too.
Well, okay. So a young man or woman comes in, tests positive for chlamydia or gonorrhea. You could provide the treatment. Is it over the counter?
No, it's not over the counter. It's antibiotics.
But you can provide that.
We can provide that. Yes, we have a standing order from our physician.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So yeah.
So any qualifications, like any kind of financial need, or you don't even ask that?
No,
We
financial
never
need.
ask
We never
financial need.
financial
We're
need.
here for the community.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also confidential,
It's
of course.
very confidential.
Right.
Yes.
So you treat it as if there was a doctor's appointment or a doctor's visit.
Absolutely.
Not,
Yes.
I guess that as an issue doesn't come up too often, I would imagine, about people trying to pry into that. But I could just imagine y'all saying, "Go away and leave us alone."
We haven't had anybody trying to pry into that at this point, but we have had people who've called to be like, does so and so have an appointment in general? And that's nobody's business. Like we don't answer that ever, ever.
So, but I like this because a lot of people, they probably really feel self-conscious about this.
Absolutely.
Maybe even more so than
That
a
just adds
pregnancy.
another layer of shame.
Yeah.
Is needed.
Yeah, and so this is a very valuable service because, again, a lot of people don't want to go to a doctor because not just the expense, but you're sitting there in a public waiting room and everybody's looking at you, whatever. And here, it's done very discreetly and very quietly. And also, I'm looking at 565 sonograms. You get a lot of business for that, don't you?
Yes, we do. And we were able to increase that because now we have 2 sono rooms. You and I have discussed that before, that we now have 2 sono rooms that we can provide sonograms.
And you have Dr. Jason Neef, so you have a doctor, not just some sort of.
He's not on site, but he's our medical director. So he works with us for the STI testing and treatment, and he looks over all of our ultrasounds. Like he keeps all our ducks in a row medically.
Yes.
What I like about that also is that you have a nurse on staff, you have trained people on staff. This isn't, amateurs that took a couple of lessons on how to run a sonogram and whatever else. These are people that have the proper credentials and qualifications that the state requires.
Yes.
And so you're getting a professional treatment here, not just, well-meaning volunteers.
Right. Yeah.
10,540 total client visits. That's a bunch.
That is a bunch.
That's every touch point that we have with a client. So that's their pregnancy test, their ultrasound appointment. If they need to come back for STI treatment, that's a touch point. If all their classes, if they're taking prenatal classes or soul care, that number is all the touch points we have. We know that we have limited influence when we have limited time. And so every conversation, every time they come back and receive training to become a stronger parent or receive discipleship to grow in their relationship with the Lord or whatever that may be, we count those as each individual important moments that we have to influence our community.
Yeah, see here, it's a 24.29% increase.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why every time we come, we're like, we're busy. We're busier than last time.
I think it's maybe because you come on the show. Maybe
Probably so.
I think so.
I like to think it maybe have a little piece of it, but I think it also has to do with the reputation of your services in your institution more than anything else. I mean, you could come here weekly. If y'all weren't doing the good work, then it wouldn't matter as much. But since y'all do such good work, if this adds 1%, then I'll be glad to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at also ways to get involved because I want to end up with our fundraiser, the big deal we got going on. Obviously, besides financial support, which is obvious, material goods. You always need baby clothing, toys, diapers, and essentials.
Yes, we are going through those especially fast this year. And we haven't had quite as many groups do baby showers for us. So if you have a small group or a women's group or a children's group and y'all like to collect some baby toys or baby clothes, just give us a call. And we'd love to set that up, give you maybe the graphics that you need to help you with that. We are needing to stock that boutique because, as you know, when they do the prenatal and parenting classes and even discipleship classes, which we call soul care, they receive bonus bucks, which look like Monopoly money. They're just little brightly colored paper things with printed stuff on them. But that's what they use to shop in the boutique. We don't ever take cash for anything at all. But they can earn baby items by earning this Monopoly money and then shopping in the boutique. And that's an amazing way for parents to become stronger parents as they learn or grow in the Lord and provide for their kiddos maybe the developmental toys that they need. We know play is vital to development and growth. Maybe to provide the clothes or baby shampoo or just whatever they may need.
It kind of related to in-kind donations and services and things like that. It's my assumption that when you make a call out for toys and clothes, you probably get a lot at the youngest ages and not enough at the 5T. That you need here as well, the older toddler, right?
Yes.
So, I guess if you're out there listening to this and you want to donate toys and or clothes, maybe you ought to shop a little bit older than what you're expecting, because everybody thinks they're talking about infants or 1-year-olds, but, you go up to what, 2.5?
3.
3.
Yeah.
3 or so, something along those lines. Some of these 3-year-olds are getting pretty big,
Tall kiddos.
Yeah, so that probably has less to choose from for these mothers.
Absolutely. Our bigger sizes do have just a few. They usually have less than our newborn sizes. We also get a lot of onesies. And so we love onesies and they're helpful. But shirts and pants and dresses and those kinds of things are helpful too.
And certainly diapers, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, because you go through them apparently over 178,000, as you said.
And the bigger sizes, diapers is our biggest need.
And also the shop and donate at Rachel's Hope.
Yes.
Yes. This week at Rachel's, we've been having all kinds of big fun over there, but this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, is their spring break mystery weekend. And so they have a spinner wheel, and if you buy anything, you can spin the wheel and get from 10 to 40% off of a coupon for your next visit. Or they have some just little gift items that you could win. They're having a lot of fun over there. They put out their spring stuff. I've been over there multiple times this week. My outfit, I told you guys I went to Bass Hall before we got on. We went to Bass Hall to see Les Mis last night, and my outfit was pretty much brought to you by Rachel's Hope. My dress and my shoes. I did. It's in the stories on Rachel's Hope, and it's in my stories. You haven't even watched my stories today. I'm just kidding.
That's the first thing I do.
But yeah, I posted the picture of that outfit, but they have a lot of cute spring stuff out.
Well, I'm also going to, the last one says here about, say it right, participate in annual fundraisers, which leads us to the Walk for Life, April 27th over at Bailey Lake Park. I believe.
26th.
That's what
Does
I
it
said,
say
didn't it?
20? No, you said 27.
Right.
I'm like, oh no, did I print it wrong?
Saturday, April 26th.
Yes.
Okay. No, I said it wrong as the show Tuesday, and I had to backtrack it because I was getting confused with the next day with the Vineyard Vibes.
That's what I was saying. Like we have the whole weekend planned for you. Saturday, get up, come to Bailey Lake, take a walk with us, and then Sunday, go over to Vineyard Vibes and just hang out. It's like a wonderful spring weekend, I think, for Vineyard Vibes' Harvest House.
Right.
But Walk for Life. Yeah, we're trying to do it at Bailey Lake. We've done it in the past at Next Step for years. We would walk just that neighborhood. Last year was the first year we put money down. We're gonna walk at Bailey Lake, and then there was a torrential downpour, and we ended up walking in the gym at Burleson Church of Christ. They were so sweet to be last minute, open their doors to us. And it was still fun. The Cleburne Railroaders came out, 88.3 came out, and we have face painting and a few little things. But we did all of that. Oh, and last year, Trinity Chiropractic came out. I think they're doing that again this year, but I don't have an official.
Dr. Dias.
Dr. Dias, he's great. What he does is he will do adjustments there at a discounted rate of like $29, but everything you pay to get your adjustment goes to us. So both you can get adjusted and you can support Next Step if you come hang out with us.
I've gotten to know Dr. Dias over the last couple of years, and he views his chiropractic practice as a ministry.
Absolutely.
He absolutely looks at it as a call, not just a profession. So there you go. Now, as far as the Walk for Life on April 26th,
Yes.
9 to 11, how does one sign up?
You can go to nextstepheroes.com/walk, and then there's a rectangle that says participate/give, but sometimes if you're on your phone, it might just say participate. And then, but just know it says participate or give. It's a rectangle there. You can just click on that and then fill it all out, and you'll be signed up to show up. Well, you'll get all of our updates and things that you might need to know in case there's another torrential downpour. But you can also begin to raise funds. We want you to walk. We want you to come out. The Railroaders are going to be there again with Spike. 88.3 is going to be there again. And we have some fun stuff for the kids. And it's a nice spring morning at the park that you're doing for a cause. I love to bring my kids out to things where we're all making a difference together. But also, if you're like, I'm not going to be in town that weekend, or I'm too busy, or I'm not going to be able to walk or whatever, you can still go to nextstepheroes.com/walk and click on the participate button, and it will give you a list of who is walking, and you can give to one of our walkers who are already walking.
Right. There's, that's what I've always encountered this Walk for Life. As people come, like, again, people in my Sunday school class or church as a whole, they'll come and say, I'm doing the walk. How much am I going to put you down for, Allard? And go, well, no, I'll write it down for you. They did, these two ladies said, here's how much you're giving. And so that kind of thing. So, sponsoring walkers is probably the biggest avenue of the money, not just the participants directly, but people that will sponsor walkers.
Absolutely.
I know one guy that will sponsor like 6 or 7 different people.
Nice.
And just, he's known if you want to get his name on the line, he'll put it there, and he'll put like either, I don't know if he gives it per mile or something like that, or just a set amount, but it doesn't matter. You'll take either one, I'm sure. I mean, you're taking loose change with those bottles.
Yes, that was fun.
Did that help you make money?
Oh my goodness,
we raised more than $10,000 with that baby bottle campaign, and as soon as those bottles came back, St. Anne's, the children's group, they take those bottles and fill them up over Lent. So they came in, we cleaned them out, and we sent them right back out. And we were already at 10,000, so we're excited to see what they're going to bring back too.
I like this one here. It says, this is Walk With Us on April 26th. This is not a protest. So
yes, correct.
Leave the politics at home. We're not here to raise Cain about the latest outrage in the government or whatnot. We're not here to make protests or support anything either. It's supporting the people involved, not the politicians and whatnot. So I always like that you'll make it very clear that your politics is not going to be a factor in whether or not you participate or not. That all people are welcome to do this, and so that's good. And it's supposed to be for the whole family. So,
even the dogs.
Even the dogs. Now, you even had this happen where people used it as an event to stage some sort of protest or make a platform out of it.
Not that I know of.
I didn't think so. I've never heard of this happening in Burleson, maybe in other places, but I never heard of it happening here. Y'all been doing this Walk for Life longer than probably y'all been with the program. It's a pretty common thing. They were doing this 15 years ago.
Yeah,
I started volunteering in 1998, and they I remember in 1998 they're like, oh yeah, we do this walk, and so that was.
Oh no, I've been here a long time, and you've been doing this Walk for Life every year. It's just it's on everybody's schedule, and I never heard of it devolving into some sort of protest or whatever.
We have a nice family morning. Like we're hanging out and we're celebrating what God's done together, and we're encouraging each other. And our ministry at Next Step Women's Center is geared to serving families and supporting women and supporting dads. And we're not political.
No.
And while what we are pro-life, we do want people to choose life, but we give everyone the information to make their own decision, and we love them through the whole thing, no matter what.
I did notice in your other brochure you talked about after abortion care. that's another aspect of y'all services I don't think gets much attention because people might think you're going to bring them in and you're going to pressure them into keeping the child. And I always bring this up every time y'all are here. I want people to know that at the end, they still let the woman make the decision, but you are there to provide information and say, hey, you can do this. This is, this can happen for you. You can have this child, and you're going to have people here to support you. You're going to have people here that are going to help you with, some of the financial end of it, but also the emotional end of it. Mm-hmm. Now, if you insist on having one, we can't stop you, and we're not going to. But as far as, I think what we've talked about before, you probably have young ladies coming in or couples coming in thinking they have no other option but an abortion, and they find out that there's all these services y'all provide and others that provide, and they see a possibility. Because I still think in my heart that most women really don't want to have an abortion if they don't have to.
Correct.
Now,
Absolutely. We've even had dads who came in and who were like so stressed and they wanted her to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. But through talking to Josh, they went, oh, I can do this. And they come out ready to be a dad. Like it's just a lot of times, if you think about what's on the internet and what they're watching on TikTok and what society puts on people, there's just a lot of lies about what life could be. Mm-hmm. And I think that we just maybe bring an opportunity for them to slow down and see other ways of just living.
I just think probably in most cases they come to you wanting to have a rationale to keep the child.
Yeah.
And you'll provide that rationale.
Absolutely.
And I know that, sometimes the choice has already been made and they're not going to change their mind.
Correct.
And you're not going to make them feel guilty, and I know you offer them anytime they want to return for the aftercare, so to speak. They're more than welcome. But I just like the fact that probably a lot of these young people come in, particularly, and I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do. And they see abortion as an easy way to take care of that, and they find out, no, I can do this, and it's not. I'm not going to be out there on my own, all by myself, that kind of thing. That's what I so much appreciate about y'all's. Your outfit is you provide the rationale and the off ramp, so to speak, what could be a very difficult, life changing decision.
Right.
And
I wanted to say something about the after abortion care that we offer. Most of the participants that we've had so far in doing this, it was from decades ago. So anyone in our community who is walking through the pain of an abortion in her past, we offer this. It's a Bible study essentially for 12 weeks, and so it's not necessarily just for our clients. It's for anybody who has walked through the pain of that in their past. So it's really good, very healing.
Oh, speaking of which, you mentioned the Railroaders. When is y'all's night? Because I know they do that.
Is it July 25th?
It's July 25th. We have Friday, July 25th is our Railroaders night.
Because I wanted the fireworks.
Yes, she had to have a fireworks night, and I got in late, so here we are in July. So we'll have in July, it'll be the 25th will be our Railroaders night, and then the next morning will be Christmas in July, which we do. So I'll be here in between now and then, I'm sure.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you.
Okay,
it's
good.
happening.
All right, good. We'll get it on the schedule.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
But we'll do our Christmas in July where we collect toys and items then.
Are you still dealing with Kay? Or because I know she's the general manager. Kay Goodell's not the general manager, or is
I think I deal with Rory more now.
Rory? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Also, I'm looking here. You need volunteers. It says.
Yes. We do, and as we are growing, our staff is worn out from seeing clients, and so we are needing men and women to volunteer one half day a week, so Monday through Friday, either 9 to 1 or 1 to 5, is the only commitment that we ask, just one of those, and we give all of the training, all of the support. But yeah, we need some men and women. And particularly, I would love a Spanish speaking volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
We have one staff member who is bilingual, and bless her heart, she's run ragged. because she's doing those appointments and those sonograms as well. And so we are needing more men and women that are bilingual to meet with our clients.
It says male care coordinators and female care coordinators. I can imagine, though, the first volunteer, you may have one idea, but they find out pretty quickly that this is what the job really is. And how do you keep it from taking it home? I guess the best way of trying to put it, because you come in and you hear the stories, and these stories, some of them are probably pretty tough,
Right.
about how maybe this young girl got pregnant and her family kicked her out, or the father disowned her or whatever, and that kind of thing. Or they come in and their intent, it will be to have an abortion, and there's no talking them out of it. How do y'all keep from taking it home?
Prayer first and foremost, and just in part of their training, we talk about compassion fatigue and what to kind of do with that and how to cope with that. Talking with, when I was in the room with the clients, I don't get to do that as much anymore, and I would have those particularly hard cases. Jane, who was the director at the time, I could go into her office afterwards and just kind of decompress, and that was wonderful. So just having that support person within the center to help you kind of work through that, and so that you can leave it there, and just knowing. We talk about this all the time, and I remind staff and volunteers all the time. It's not us. We're not changing anybody's mind. We're giving the information, but ultimately we have to remember who is in charge, and it's not us. And we have to leave it at the foot of the cross and know and trust that God's got a plan. He's got a plan for her. He's got a plan for that baby, and it's not on us.
You talk about Rachel's Hope here. You mentioned already about the Spring Break Mystery Weekend at 10 to 40% off. But also next weekend is Rangers Weekend. That's right, opening day is a week for a day. This is a great time of year. You got the March Madness. You get opening day. It's
Best.
it's like National Hooky from Work Day, or whatever. I know the next 2 days, the absentee rate at offices all over the country are low, or high rather, because everybody's watching the ball games, so the basketball. And then next Thursday is the Rangers opening day. It's always in the afternoon. And I remember when I was teaching school, and like a third of the staff would, I'm sick. Cough, cough. And I didn't go, but then I get these texts. I remember Wittenberg sent me one, a selfie of him and 2-3 other guys at the baseball game when I'm sitting there trying to teach you guys. And I'm like, thanks a lot. Sounds about right. You didn't have Mr. Wittenberg, though. He came after you did. But
I know who he is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, thanks a lot. I'm here working for the children of this community.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah, thank you for your sacrifice. Yeah, thanks a lot. Anyway, Taylor, would you put the other couple of nonprofit things up there on the board? April 5th is a very busy day coming up, because on April 5th at the Uprising Church in Joshua, they're going to have a men's conference. Probably similar to what we were talking about here. Some of the same things about fatherhood and whatnot.
Yeah.
Caleb Tomlinson's running this. Caleb was a contemporary of Hayden and your brother.
Yeah, I was going to say he's good friends with Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
I know who he is.
Okay.
Well, and I led some stuff at First Baptist with that group, and so a rowdy bunch of boys. It's fine. It's great. He's putting his energy to good things.
Yes. Yeah, it is. But he's going to have this men's conference. And it has speakers. It's $25, so get on the QR code and get your tickets and whatnot. They'll provide you with the luncheon and whatever materials they provide, and also pay for the speakers, I suppose, if whatnot. But it's all day at the Uprising. And then when you're done with that, you can go over to Light Up the Night over at the Brick for the Center for ASD. Lisa was here last week, and they're still in the kind of a flux about their space situation.
Yeah.
So, and I wish I could solve that for them, but it's...
We all do. We all do.
Yeah, I know. I know it's a group prayer by all you ladies together. Because we sure don't want to see them move out of our town just because they can't find a space. But we'll see what happens, right? But anyway, it's over at the Brick, Light Up the Night, 6 to 9. They got vendors. They're going to have a couple food trucks. They're going to have entertainment, DJ something or other. I can't see it from here. There is DJ Tay. Okay. I don't know what that is. Or but that's fine. I don't.
I'm sure
run
he's
that crowd.
awesome.
I'm sure he's great, but I'm still stuck in the '70s. So, my idea of a DJ was, Kid Craddock or something like that. But anyway, so Light Up the Night. Also, they have yours on the 26th, which again at the end will reemphasize how one can get involved in. And then on the 27th, Vineyard Vibes over at Lost Oak. That's a real big deal, of course.
It is. They've got great musical guests lined up. It's going to be a great time.
Garrett Roper's in our BNI group, and he's been pushing that pretty hard. And Phil Hamilton, which is a BHS graduate, I believe, or at least he's Burleson local, is going to do the music. Of course, there'll be music all day. I was there last year, and it's really very nice, very low key, very relaxed. Had a silent auction thing and going on. It was very quiet, and not quiet in the sense like nothing's going on, but it wasn't like high stress is another way you're putting it. Like bombarding you with all this stuff. It was a nice relaxing afternoon. They asked that y'all bring some canned goods and such to help load up the pantries, because I know both Promises and them they're doing really, really big business, so to speak.
Yeah.
Very busy like y'all. And then I can't remember the exact date, but then the first Saturday of May is City on the Hill with Lisa Schwartz and Crazy Eights. And
I think that's May 10th.
May 10th. Okay, I believe that's right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Liz Hargrove and Lisa will be here on the show in about roughly about 4 weeks from now. Like the third week of April to talk about all this stuff going on. Yeah, we're scheduling that time. So it's really busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City on a Hill's fun too. My kiddo will be dancing, and next step we'll have a booth. Don't look at her while she's dancing.
I was gonna say.
No,
Kill you.
I know. We won't tell her. She had an eye doctor appointment. She's distracted, and she doesn't. She's not on Facebook anyway, so it's fine.
Good.
But
Well, that's good. You don't let your kids get on Facebook?
no.
Yeah. There you go. That's good for y'all. If you put the radio logos on there, of course, 88.3, The Journey, which I'm sure y'all are familiar with.
Yes.
Y'all were on there about 2 weeks ago.
Right now, you should hear my voice occasionally talking about the Walk for Life on 88.3.
I'd like to hear that on my radio station, but I can't seem to get y'all to. Okay.
I wonder if Rich would just send you what we recorded there, but
He could. If how did y'all record it?
we went to the station and he just did it.
Rich can send it to me, and he knows the format I need, which is MP3, which I like to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. But I just know those letters and numbers. It's an MP3 format, and if y'all do stuff on YouTube, I can transfer it from YouTube to MP3 in a matter of moments, so it's not a big deal at all. So if y'all record a commercial,
Okay.
I could do it for Facebook, but the sound quality isn't as good.
Yeah.
Plus the programming, you don't know if you're downloading, real legitimate programming or some Trojan or something like that.
Oh, yes.
So you have to. It's not everything that you download for this is going to be trustworthy. So have Rich send it.
Yeah.
And I could just throw it on the radio station. I got something running for Wings of Hope right now.
Awesome.
They recorded their own. If you record on something called Audacity, which is a system you can download for free. Mm-hmm. That's how I do all my announcements. And,
Okay.
When I do like the Burleson news updates, or if somebody's asked me to do a clip for them for whatever, I just use Audacity and I record it. Robin used it to record tests for oral test takers in her job at Centennial. So if you put mine up there now, Taylor, if you don't mind, Community Radio, if you'll put something on there, we could run it. It's real easy. Now, as far as I am looking for paid advertisers, but I don't charge nonprofits because I've been told by a higher power that's not going to happen.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. But also, all our business friends should advertise with this fabulous community radio.
Yes.
The higher power, I assume is Robin. She said, "Well, you're not going to charge them for that." No, okay, just making sure. So, but anyway, it's always business partners. Yeah, okay. But anyway, if y'all get something, send it. We'll get it together. No problems.
Sounds good.
I'll work on it.
Finish this off. Tell us everything we need to know.
Well, shop at Rachel's Hope this weekend. If you buy something, you can spin the mystery wheel and you'll get 10 to 40% off or a little gift, whatever it lands on. We're really excited. And then next weekend will be Rangers Weekend. Wear your Ranger gear on Friday or Saturday and get 15% off. And then Walk for Life. We want you to come walk with us. We want you to register to walk. You can do that at nextstepheroes.com/walk and then click the participate-give rectangle, and that'll get you to where you can put all your information in. If you can't walk with us, which you should, because it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful, fun time on April 26th from 9 to 11, you can click any name. My name's not up there. I was going to say, me and Summer need to put our name on that list. And then you can click our names, and you can give to Walk for Life. Yes.
Do y'all have some sort of flyer or logo to put on here on the?
I do. I'll send that to you.
All right, send it in. We'll throw it in with the Light Up the Night and Vineyard Vibes, all the rest. Because we're getting to the point where I get it, put them separately from the ad runs because I could be here till halfway through the show and finally, I actually get to the show, sooner or later. Well, that's great. Y'all are going to do. It's going to be really great. The gala coming in October. You already have a date?
Yes. It will be October 10th. Same place, same time. Thursday, October 10th at doors open at 6. Mm-hmm. And our theme is Glimmer of Hope. So maybe find something sparkly, Mr. Allard.
Yeah. Sure, I will. And I know what you're going to do. So you're going to put me next to the Bond family. Justin and Lauren, and then you'll convict me. Okay, here's some more.
Did that work last time?
It worked great.
Okay.
How are you going to tell Lauren Bond no? She said, you need to give up a kidney, Allard. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So anyway, I'm glad to see y'all still doing so well for this community. It makes this community what it is. I already enjoy these shows. Particularly, y'all are very well prepared. You do all the work for me. I don't have to look up anything. So, Taylor, you doing all right?
I'm doing well.
All right, 9:00 is the new time for Monday's show. I'm going to have somebody you graduated with, Kelly Metters.
Yeah.
Okay, she adopted a child.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a sweet little girl. I've seen her. We run our kids are both at STEAM, so we see each other at STEAM things sometimes.
Yeah, we're going to.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, so she's going to be on the show. I don't know if her husband will be, even though I went to Matt and Kelly's wedding, and it was kind of fun, really. It was really sweet. And yeah, so Matt's a police officer, so I don't know what his schedule is, but and then on Thursday of next week, I have Derek Weathers from the Cleveland City Council. So we're going to be able to talk about what's going on in Cleveland. I've been trying to branch the show out a little bit more to include Cleveland more into these kind of things. So spread my appeal. I don't know what it is. Spread the brand.
Broaden your reach.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Grow your neighborhood.
Boy, I'm going to leave it on that. I'll see y'all next week.